All right, babies, it's that time again.
Oh, yeah. What's that? That's Darius Milhaud, spelled Milhaud.
Oh, yeah, baby. I thought we might want a little background today. Oh, yeah.
I got different colors going on today. Look at this. Red pants, orange, blue, purple. Woo! All right, you guys, we are in Genesis 24, and yeah, the music is appropriate for Genesis. It just actually, in this case, it's not so crazy. It's Abraham arranging a wife for his son Isaac. And creates sort of this prophetic scenario. Like you're going to go to a well, and the woman that comes out that dips her pitcher in the well at the same time as you, that'll be the one for Isaac. So I'm not sure what to make of that. I don't even know if God works like that. We do have some things, in the Bible that sort of have that kind of a quality to them, structure. Jesus, telling his disciples, well, you're going to go into the next town and there's going to be a donkey and you're going to use that donkey, bring it to me, and I'm going to ride it into Jerusalem. I mean, we see some of that stuff, but then again, you don't know if that is just created by the authors of the Gospels to match up with the stories, like these kind of things from Genesis. I don't know. When I run into stuff like this, I usually look for, something in my own life that I can match it up with. Like, is there any evidence that the Spirit of God deals with me in that way? I can't really say there ever has been. I can't think of anything. And I also can't really think of anything that I know about that, from people, that I know. Now on YouTube and stuff, you do hear these stories where, people will say, well, God told me to do this, and so I went there, and when I went there, this happened, and then blah, blah, blah. So I don't doubt that God can communicate in that way, and I do think that he does want to do that sometimes, but I don't know. I think it's so rare that I don't really get a lot of inspiration from it. I mean, to me, it's more inspiring to feel the peace and love of God in my heart, mind, and spirit. And in that sense, I get a guidance from him on what to do and what not to do, but not like in a prescriptive way like it's depicted here in Genesis 24. So that's pretty much it. I don't have a lot to say about that. I should say, though, related to that, that I think people overdo this whole piece here that we're talking about. Like, for instance, the new, or I shouldn't say new, but revived emergence of this interest in talking to angels, you know, that type of a thing. And, you know, people like being led into like these visualizations. You know, imagine you're in this place, and, you know, they create kind of a idyllic sort of scene that you're supposed to think is heaven, and somehow imagining yourself in that scenario and interacting with Jesus, and then coming back out of that realm into the earthly realm. But it's all in your imagination. I have trouble seeing that as aligning with the Spirit of God, because you're creating it. Okay, I imagine myself dancing in New Haven, and I have a dress on, and Jesus comes up to me and he says, "Hey, love the look tonight." I mean, I'm not going to create something like that in order to help myself feel connected to God. I'll just shut the F up and let His Spirit in me communicate to me. Hello? I don't get all this. I think it, more than anything, I think it's a problem. And now when I say that, you know, people will think like, you know, well, if you say that, then you probably also would be critical of other new agey type ideas or practices that are being co-opted by Christians these days. Yeah, I'm always skeptical of it, but I wouldn't dismiss it just because it's something that has been used in New Age, whatever that term means, contexts. So yeah, it's all the same, meaning things always get reduced down to how are you communicating with God? How are you receiving His communication? Is that producing fruit in your life? Meaning, are you becoming stronger? Are you becoming more loving? You know, then yeah, those are trustworthy things. But I don't see the value in like, yeah, I had this wild experience where God told me to go here, and I did that, and it happened just the way He told me to, and da 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 da, and now I'm a better person because of it. I just don't. I don't know. Again, I welcome any communication with God if He wants to be specific like that. Hey, I want you to do this, and I do get that sometimes. You know, with the Spirit in me, like giving me a sense of, you know, why don't you stay here for a bit, or why don't you do this instead, or that kind of a thing, but not like this elaborate, you know, creation of actions that have to be taken one after the other, or are a product of your own imagination, and now you're gonna call it God. I just find that just to be disrespectful to the fact that Jesus gave Himself for us, to live in us, to communicate directly with us, without us creating stories that we want to fit him into. I have a problem with that.